Welcome back, everybody. Just a little update about the room here as it's getting slowly closer to the final product. So we got some shelves there. Everybody's doing pretty good. We lost the Tetra the other day. He was hanging on for quite a while. These guys everybody's doing pretty good. These guys are doing good here. This is the 125 with the got all the goldfish and stuff in there. All my plants are doing really good. I had to put the mango tree outside because it wasn't doing too good. I think I might have to take it out of the pot now and put it in a bigger pot. These things, for some reason, did really, really good, and they started going crazy, and everything's doing real good, and all these plants are doing good. And this 90-gallon tank now just has shrimp that I put in there, but I don't know if you can see. They, obviously they're doing really good in there because they're everywhere. And what's really cool is there's little baby shrimp, and that just means they're breeding. So that's good. Then down here, of course, we got the Cory guys still. Here's a couple of them hanging on the wall there. That's the big mama one right there on the right. She's the one that has the eggs all the time. And just a quick look across. And what I did was there is still a ton of guppies, obviously. But what I did was I actually took a ton of guppies out of there and put them in this the driftwood tank or whatever you want to call it, and they're doing really good in here, it seems. I mean, you can see they're just chasing females everywhere, but they're doing so good. And I actually have my little red guy there. I don't know where he is. He's a little guy, but there he is, I think. That's him right there. That guy is, I think he just goes around getting the females all the time. I wish I could get. I wonder why my thing doesn't never get. You know what? Let's pause for a second. All right, so I just cleaned the lens a little bit. I don't know, maybe it was a little fogged out from the thing, but I don't know. I got to invest in like a really good camera for close-ups and stuff, but that little red guy, man, he's a terror. I think that's him right there. Wow, he just goes around, makes little babies. And if you look up here, I don't know if you could see, there's a ton again of look at all those little guys there. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see them till just now. So the guppies are doing really good. And then over here are the Cory guys, the little Cory guys, who are so far doing actually pretty phenomenal, I gotta say. And what's really surprising is I actually, every once in a while, and it's not like I add eggs to it or anything like that, but every once in a while I just see like a little guy, like a new fry, and I'm like, where did he come from? I don't know, you can see, that guy, he's pretty tiny compared to the other guys. You see him? He's kind of new, So there's a couple of them in there. So far, everything's been going real good with these guys. They've been doing real good. The only thing the reason for this video right now is I was going to say, I lost 2 of these little guys already, and all over the course of 1 night, 2 nights, not even. And I'll tell you why. If you see that guy, you see those little those are ram's horns eggs. Now I don't know if you can see those back there. Let me see if I can get. I don't know why it just doesn't do a good job of focusing, But let's see if I can get a better one over here. Okay, there you go. See those? Those are ram's horns egg I'm gonna say they are clusters, or whatever you want to call it, clutches, whatever. They're they're in that sticky, really sticky gel kind of stuff, and I'll show you some more in this other tank. I think there's one right here at the top. Okay, I don't know if you can see right there in the middle of the screen. You see that cluster of eggs there, right? It's kind of hard to... Right there, okay? So that cluster of eggs is in that... Here's another one right here. You see that? Well, that is really sticky stuff, okay? And for some reason, the snails love to put it right on the corners. I don't know if you can see, there was actually some right, there's a remnant of it still. I guess you're not going to make it, but anyways, it's right around where these guys are all climbing around and everything. And last night, I found one of these bigger guys too, he's about that big. I mean, it was not like a little guy or a little, wormy guy. He was like this guy right here. He was a pretty big guy. And he was dead, mixed in that cluster of eggs, like that cluster back there. And I said, what the hell is going on? That's just, I don't want to lose any of these guys. So my lesson learned is, if you can, get rid of, and I love these ram's horns, guys, because I don't know if you've noticed what they did. Look what they did to this tank. This tank was literally, had all that brown stuff. I said people were going to yell at me on YouTube for having all that gunk on the bottom. It's gone. It's literally gone because of these ram's horn snails. And the shrimp probably too, a couple of shrimp in there, but mostly these snails. And I love them. I think they're cool looking with their big giant antennas and stuff. I do like these guys. I don't like the trumpet snails. I don't like the bladder snails. I like nerite snails, but it's hard for me to keep nerite snails alive. For some reason, they don't do too good in these tanks with me. But so my advice now is, if you have ram's horn snails, or I guess any snail that has clutches of eggs like that, you might want to get them out of there while you have fry that are growing out. Because this morning when I woke up, in the same clutch of eggs was now another little Cory fry guy. Again, not small. You know what I mean? You see that little guy right there? The thing was the size of those guys over there. It was not a tiny little one. So my advice is, either get rid of those things quickly. You see, like that. See how he's going to go over there and he's going to mess with them. He wants to, like, I don't know if he's trying to eat them or he's just, it's something for him to touch with his feelers and stuff. But for some reason, those guys were climbing up like that. See how everybody's like racing to the top to whatever they're breaching, I guess. I don't know. But they do that once in a while. And so they were doing that, but they were climbing the very corner, like those guys in the corner there. You see those guys there? That's what they were doing. They were climbing that one corner, and sure enough, right in that corner, of course, was a big giant cluster of those eggs. So this morning I had found a second Cory fry guy in there, and I said, you know what? I'm getting rid of these things. I didn't get rid of that one there, because I didn't see it until a little while ago, but I'm probably going to try to get rid of that thing. And in the other tank's not so bad, but you can see that even in this lower tank here, there's another cluster right there. And I find that the ram's horns guys do a lot of clusters, but they don't... I don't really see, like this tank here, you can see the ram's horns guys really, are doing good. You can see that they're actually baby ram's horns guys all over the place. There's a few guys in here, but if you notice, there's this one giant guy. There's a little guy there. But a couple of them, as you can see right here, right there. A couple of them just didn't make it through the process like it. I think that's another guy right back there. And they didn't make it. This will be another tank. Here, okay, so here's the guppy tank, but you can see that, sometimes they do real good, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they just don't make it. So, anyways, back to what I was saying. I would keep an eye on stuff like clusters of eggs, and snail eggs and stuff around fry too, because you don't want them to get caught in that stuff because they just can't get out. Like, I guess, and they just I'm not sure if they suffocate or drowned, or maybe that stuff is a little toxic. So be careful. Okay, everybody, see you later.